have this term that you talk about, all roads lead to sales. You have some great stories about your time as
I'll
a
take you back
sales.
to my first week on the job. I worked for Gallo, and in your early job, you were calling on liquor stores. I had about 60 liquor stores in the greater New Haven, Connecticut area that I would go visit. I was there with my boss the first week. This gentleman by the name of Tim Clark, who is just one of the, still to this day, one of the more interesting and kind of I think just really great salespeople that you come across.
Yeah.
And we're waiting for the retailer to free up so we can go talk to them and present some new products. And we're looking at the shelf and we're looking at some product. And he goes to me, he goes, do you know how many people went into getting this product, that played a role in getting this product on this shelf? And I'm like, I don't know, hundreds, thousands. He's like, yeah, probably hundreds of thousands when you actually think about it. He's like, there's, that product in there. There was grapes that were put in the ground. They were watered. They were, cared for. They were harvested. They were transported. They were bottled. There was a bottling that had to be designed, label that had to be designed, had to be shipped. It had to be priced, had to be received by a distributor. It had to get brought into the store. Somebody had to pick it up. He's like, all roads lead to you and me standing in this store, right? And everyone's depending on us to be good at sales, right? All those people that went into that, he's like, all roads lead to sales. That unlocked curiosity for me of like, well, actually, that sounds really cool, a little scary, right? But really cool of like, well, how does this actually all work? So, I was in, New Haven, Connecticut. Modesto, California is where Gallo is headquartered. And I was always curious, like, what goes on out there in Modesto, right? What goes on at the headquarter level? What conversations are being had? And how do you, and it goes back to that football mentality of like, well, how do you stitch all these activities and positions and roles and responsibilities together? So that's generally how I tend to think about
I worked in
things.
nonprofit in a hospital for many, many years. To me, I had plenty of discussions in a boardroom or a group room with leaders and thought leaders and at the end of the day, it was like, okay, is the nurse on the floor? Is the technician on the floor following our policy? Because we can come up with the greatest idea. If it's not executed with the patient, they'll never see. I think a lot about how organizations do things like that.